Hello and welcome into today's edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hicks and I am the lead beat writer for Arizona State Sun Devils on SI. And I am so grateful to be joining you on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Just wrapped up a few hours ago from day two of week 3 of Arizona State Fall Camp. Heading into the season opener on August 30th against Northern Arizona. As most of you already know, Arizona State is heading into the season ranked as the number 11 team in the land. There is immense hype, obviously, coming from media and fans alike. The fact that Arizona State is ranked number 11 validates the fact that many in the media industry do believe that this team is as good as advertised, and there isn't nearly as much skepticism as some may have assumed. So, the first 2 weeks of camp, maybe 2 bad days of practice throughout all of that time. One for sure one day was a really bad day of practice. That was the second day of week 1 on a Thursday. But otherwise, the team has been locked in. The defense has been the dominant force in the scheme of practice for most of the last 2 weeks, but the offense took a major step forward on Tuesday, and we will get into that momentarily. But before we start the meat and bones of today's show, please follow me on X/Twitter at KX_21. I have story content up there, including my exclusive interview with Jordan Tyson yesterday on Monday, and other video content from practice, some interactive stuff, including question boards and other things that I turn into stories. And thank you so much for your support. I can't say that enough. I can't stress it enough. I couldn't do this without each and every one of you supporting me. So let's get into today's practice report for Tuesday, August 12th. So Coach Dillingham really stressed the fact that this was one of the best days from the offense during fall camp. The offense definitely flexed its muscles, showed explosiveness, showed the ability to get chunk plays, really showed its versatility if we are talking about collectively. From my observations, I had 5 standouts in particular once again today. I had wide receivers Jaron Hamilton and Jalen Moss. Obviously, both of them are transfers, newcomers. I had defensive lineman Justin Watley, who's really been one of the most impressive defensive players throughout fall camp, in my estimation. And he could very well be a rotational piece. He might not even start on that defensive line, and he's been incredibly impressive alongside a Boogie Wilson and a Jordan Crook. And then running back Kyson Brown was impressive to me as well. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes as well. And then Xavion Alford as well. Those were the 5 players that really, really stood out to me today. So here's just some general observations that I had from Tuesday's practice. So there were scouts from 2 NFL teams, the Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. That comes just a few days after there was 10 scouts that showed up to practice in Tempe. This shouldn't come as a surprise, but Sam Levitt continues to look incredibly comfortable in year 2 of being in Marcus Arroyo's offense as a play caller and Kenny Dillingham's offensive structure. He had a pair of impressive scrambles in the earlier portion of practice. When the pocket collapsed, he showed the ability to extend plays. He showed the ability to scramble. He showed the ability to improvise. Shortly after that, he had an incredible downfield shot to Malik McClain on the sideline. That was a phenomenal throw in a tight window. And he made some more great throws that we'll get into in a moment. But I also wanted to talk about Jesus Gomez. He's been absolute nails through most of the offseason camp to this point. He nailed a 40-yarder in the indoors portion of practice. Even though his kick almost got blocked because players were running off sides. He's really raised the ceiling of this team, if I'm being completely honest, because last season there were many possessions that they had to give up on early because they just weren't in field goal range. They either had to punt the ball or had to go for it and leave a short field for the opposing offense. Uh, might not have that concern with Jesus Gomez in the fold. Kanye Udo continues to improve his receiving ability. I counted 2 or 3 plays where he was on the receiving end of a pass from either Jeff Sims or Sam Levitt. And he continues to look more comfortable each and every passing day in Marcus Arroyo's offense. Ben Coleman, he continues to take snaps at both left guard and center. That was a reflection of what Coach Dillingham said on Monday, that we need to find our 5 best guys, and Ben is one of those 5 guys, but we're just finding a spot for him. That's what Coach pretty much said, more or less face value. And it looks like Ben Coleman does not have a set position to start the season, at least going into the end of fall practices. We might have a little more clarity on that in the coming days. We will see. I want to talk about Cameron Dyer, freshman 4-star quarterback out of New Mexico. He is recovering from a knee injury, but he has been doing more and more drills. He's slowly easing back into being medically cleared. Dillingham said a couple of weeks ago that he is about a month away. So now he's probably a couple of weeks away from being medically cleared, and he looks sharp. He really does look sharp for a player that's still coming back from an injury. Kamari Anderson and AJ Ia both excelled in the red zone short game action in situational parts of practice. AJ Ia also secured an incredibly impressive downfield reception from Jeff Sims in the offense-defense portion of practice with a longer field. And Jalen Moss, like I said earlier, was very, very impressive. He got a deep sideline shot to the left side. He also found a soft spot in the zone later on in practice on the left side of the field. The third catch of the offensive defense practice for him was about 25 yards downfield, down the seam in the middle of the field. And he capped everything off for the day with a touchdown in a situational red zone drill once again. Shimon Mateer secured an acrobatic catch 20 yards downfield near the end of practice as well. So the tight end group as a whole has been absolutely impressive. Jason Mons has a phenomenal group. That's one of my major takeaways. And then Xavion Alford, like I said, he was one of the standouts. He was communicative all day. He was active all day. He secured an interception when he was covering Kyson Brown in the end zone. One of the best players in college football, and the last 2 weeks have told me nothing different than that. And then possibly the most impressive play of the day was Jaron Hamilton catching a 60-yard rocket from Sam Levitt. It was an incredible throw on the run from Sam Levitt. Obviously, a 6-yard throw has to be incredible. The ball placement was perfect. Jaron tracked the ball and caught it over Montana Warren. And that was the highlight of the day. That really shows that Jaron Hamilton is ready to take the next step forward and possibly be a starting player on opening day for the Sun Devils. So these are just some parting shots that I'm going to leave you all with before I sign off for the day. So I wanted to say that Kyson Brown, I believe, has started to separate himself a little bit from Kanye Udo and Raleek Brown. That isn't to say those guys won't get playing time, because they're absolutely talented. They're very, very different from Kyson Brown in terms of their ceilings, what they bring to the table, skill set wise, their builds. All 3 will get snaps, probably a lot of snaps for each of them, but Kyson Brown, in my mind, will probably be the starter for week 1. The edge position group continues to be consistently impressive. Pass rush should not be anywhere near the concern it was last season with this group. Justin Watley, Elijah O'Neal, Clayton Smith, all of these guys are in the best shape they've been in with the Arizona State program. Even CJ Fight, he really could be a force as a pass rusher from the interior. Deron Reynolds has done a phenomenal job with his defensive line, and that should be one of the least of Arizona State's concerns, if you ask me, at least from what I've seen over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, that is all I have for today. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in today. Your support means the absolute world to me, and please follow me on X/Twitter at KX_21, and I will see you tomorrow.